Women in these communities already, because they bear the brunt, they are the ones who are in the middle of it. And if you ask me, they have the best solution to some of these problems. Women in different communities are also advocating for improved health care, and in cases where it's not readily available, they step in and provide what is needed. If we must enjoy global peace and meet the human security needs of all, we must invest in rural women. A few months ago, we went to Davos, and as part of this Nobel laureate thing that I'm still getting used to, you have the opportunity to meet many great people. You have the opportunity to sit in on conversations, and by day 2, I had a persistent frown on my face. And my friend Abigail Disney said to me, Leymah, if we have to get anything out of these people, you need to smile. And if anyone knows me very well, my response was, Abby, they can go to hell. The reason I had that persistent frown on my face, majority of you in this room are women. Majority of you in this room say you care. And majority of you have spent your entire lives advocating for the rights of women, the rights of girls, and the improvement of lives of women. And if we are to continue this struggle and succeed, we need to roll up our sleeves, take off the high heels, and get back in the field. We need to fight as viciously as we used to fight before Beijing. Because I think, my opinion, with all due respect to the older women, because they fought very hard to get us to where we find ourselves today, is that we've toasted Beijing too long. I'll give you a typical example of why I had this frown. When I wake up in the morning, I always say to my children, don't annoy me because I'm a very happy person. I want to be happy all day. The first sign of annoyance, I frown all day. Unfortunately for me in Davos, every meeting, first thing in the morning, made me frown, and I had to frown all day. One of the powers that be, a lady came to us and said, before every high-profile organizations coming to Davos brought 4 representatives, and they advocated for a 5th representative. And the organizer said, okay, you can step it up to 5, but the requirement is that the 5th person must be a woman. So in that way, it was going to open up the space for more women. This year, most of the companies that came to Davos brought 4 because they didn't want to bring women. That's one of the first reasons. The second reason, my auntie Narasa is sitting there, we all know that teenage pregnancy is an epidemic, especially in parts of Africa. And pray tell me, I do not have to go to the space station to know that for us to really work through issues of teen pregnancy, we need sex education and family planning. No one needs to tell me. We sit in a meeting and everyone is talking about every woman, every child marriages, girls getting pregnant, this and that and the other, and nobody but me raised the issue of sex education and family planning. That night, all of the Nobel laureates gathered for a dinner. And one of the older laureates stood up and said, I am so baffled and I'm angry. And I said, well, that makes the 2 of us. He said, I went to a session today talking about the livelihood of women and girls. And when I stood up to raise the issue of family planning, someone told me to sit down. It was too controversial. I will sum up my Davos experience, I came to the conclusion that women's rights, girls' issues of health, issues of empowerment, issues of economic development and growth must start from the community, must continue in the communities, and if we must end some of the vices on women's lives that we see, we need to move back to the communities. We can sit here and talk some, we can sit there and talk some, but until we recognize that even in the communities, some of the resources that we're looking for is there, we will continue to look in places that will not be forthcoming. I left there convinced I'm a grassroots activist. Whether a Nobel laureate or not, a grassroots activist, I will continue to be. Whilst investing in rural women, we need to study their initiatives, advance them where needed, adapt them where applicable. The answers for community change is not in New York or Davos. We can make these changes if we're truly committed, and we can make these changes if we recognize the strength